We're going to be the sporting director of Manchester United now and do a little keep or sell. I've done this recently, so my memories are quite ready for
But they all sell.
Weirdly, no. And like, this is one of the things why obviously we'll get stuck into. One of the things I was really disappointed with Erik ten Hag. Whilst you can question one or two of the players, or maybe more than two, but while you can question a few of the players, I think generally speaking, a lot of the squad, we've got some very good young players coming through. We've got some, decent senior pros. Like, the squad isn't as bad as what Ten Hag inherited. Like,
Is this
Ruben
topic-
Amorim's inheriting.
Is this topic about getting you into the top 4 or winning the Premier League? Like getting back to the top of the league?
We'll
What
have
is
a
it?
look. We'll just go through the team, and if you think we should keep or we sell,
To win the league, though.
you give your opinion. Well, yeah, that has to be the aim, doesn't it?
Okay, so I don't know. Maybe it's top, it's been top 4 for the last 15 years.
You got to jog before you can sprint, right?
Yeah, I agree.
You're not going to get everyone out in one window. Goalkeepers, obviously, we'll start with Andre Onana. Goal from Buvey. I was about to call you Bruno.
I'd sell him. I don't know if he's good enough to get you back to the top of the Premier League.
I disagree. I think that's not your big problem. I think if you look at statistically, he's been one of the better goalkeepers in the last few years. Obviously, you've got to factor in the way that Amorim wants to play. And Onana's a very specific kind of goalkeeper with regards to the way he plays, and very aggressive and very wants the ball. But I don't think that's the problem. And I think there's a lot of business that probably needs to be done, and it's not in the goalkeeper.
I tend to agree with you. Whilst I think potentially Onana does have that in him, like, after the goal that Caicedo scored, I kind of went, could he have? Because it does make you think sometimes, could he have done better there because of the way he does dive around and stuff? But generally, I think he's been pretty good this season. He's saved us on a couple of occasions. And some of the results that we've not had great results in, that would have been worse if it wasn't for Andre Onana. So I think he's settled well this season. And I think we're starting to see the Onana that we bought. Altay Bayindir, on the other hand, like, I say keep as well as I do Onana, but I base it off nothing.
How old is he?
Played like
Is he young?
2 games. I think he's relatively young.
Yeah, well, yeah.
For a goalkeeper.
Got to keep him, I guess. What we're going to do, sell him. Like.
Who are you going to get in as a backup? It's fine. I don't think that's the problem. Goalkeepers.
We'll move on to the defenders. Diogo Dalot.
Yeah, I think
And we've got to bear in mind, sorry for cutting you off, Boo, before we move on, it's going to be this back three probably with 2 wing backs, isn't it? So you've got to kind of allow that to shape your opinion.
He's been your best player, arguably, hasn't he, Dilla?
Not this season. He's had a bad season.
I thought he'd been...
In the last 18 months, there's a shout.
Yeah, he's been up
but
there, certainly.
This season, I think he's had a bad one.
Yeah, you have to keep him. Portuguese connection as well will be good with Amorim.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, got to keep him.
I say keep the low, but he's got to fix up this season. Nazer Mazraoui, on the other hand, keep him because I think he's one of the best fullbacks in the league. We got him for £13 million and he's fucking mint.
And that is important, what they come in on. And whether there's a profit to be made one day or whether there's a loss that you're going to make by selling him. And the deal was a no-brainer, really, wasn't it, in terms of bringing him in. He's played with De Ligt in the last club as well, which has a little bit of chemistry there as well. So I would keep him. I don't think that's a problem. There's a lot of problems.
Cheap as well, yeah.
He's good.
But is he a wing? Is he going to use him as a wing back, you think?
I think so, but I don't know if he'll work. I can't really tell you if he'll
play
work
number
there.
10 as well, can't he?
I think that's the thing. He's played in midfield, played everywhere. So maybe he's the perfect wing back. Victor Lindelof, it's got to be his last season, this one, isn't it?
Well, you're going to find a buyer.
His contract expires, so it's not even a keep or
Would
sell.
you take him at hashtag?
Of course.
No, would you? No.
Of course I would.
Would you?
He'd be the best player in the league by a million miles.
Don't know about that.
I mean, listen.
You have to get him on Dickinson's real deal. I don't know if you find a buyer for him.
He's going to go on a
Serious.
free.
Well,
it's interesting because he has a past relationship with Bruno Amorim. Ruben Amorim, sorry. Calling everyone Bruno. They played together at Benfica.
That shows you. Yeah, he's getting on.
He's rubbish, isn't he?
It shows you how young Amorim is as well. He's 39.
No, he's young. I think
Lindelof's rubbish, isn't he?
4 years younger than our manager. It's mental.
what you've got to understand is that Amorim's going to want to put his stamp on this squad, and to do that, he's going to have to free up money in the wage budget as well as the transfer kitty. So there's easy wins. Players that aren't guaranteed starters with contracts expiring, it's not even necessarily a reflection on them, but they just have to be let go.
Yeah.
And he's one of them.
He's one of them for sure. Matthijs de Ligt.
I think he's not good enough to get you back to the win in the Premier League, but that's my opinion.
For me, it's a really interesting one because he has all the attributes to be an amazing centre back. He has the mentality. We're still dining out on that kind of chant he started when he was 17 at Ajax, and he was doing all that stuff. But you can't get away from the fact that he's been moved on from a lot of big clubs. And as a young centre back, why did Juve and Bayern not give him the time to come good? There must be a reason. I don't think it's a mentality one. I think he's just not quite elite.
I think he'd be a good third choice or
I think
fourth
he's a good-
choice.
Yeah, and if that's what he is, because obviously you've got Euro to come back in as well. If he ends up being, or obviously in a 3 centre-back system, you need a lot of centre-backs, depending on who you play there. I don't think you should get rid of him necessarily.
I don't know if he's good enough in
I'm
the
worried
three.
about him.
I see. You may be right, Spen, but I actually quite rate Matthijs de Ligt. I think he's fantastic. The only question that comes up for me is the back three thing, because we've seen him playing back threes before. I think Holland play a back three and they don't use him because he can't be that centerpiece. So he has to be the centerpiece. And I think if he is that centerpiece, I think it could work. I think if he falls into one of the wider positions of the back three, maybe it doesn't. I think he's very similar to kind of Harry Maguire in that sense. I think Harry Maguire could, benefit from the back three system, although I'd probably still get rid of him. Kind of jumping the gun a little bit here. But Matthijs de Ligt, maybe it's because I've wanted him for a long time. Like I wanted him 4 or 5 years ago. And I think Juventus were kind of recovering from signing Ronaldo. They had to recoup a lot of money when they sold him. And then Bayern Munich, once they don't win the league, they just go. And everyone kind of went, Dyer was starting ahead of him. He wasn't. When De Ligt was injured, Dyer was playing. And when De Ligt was back, he was playing alongside Dyer.
I know a lot of the Bayern fans were unhappy about him being sold.
Yeah, I think he's a very good player. The question mark comes, is he going to be a back three player? And the question mark is out on that, but I'd keep him. Harry Maguire?
Well, I completely agree with what you said about the Maguire and De Ligt comparison in the sense of I don't think you need them both. You're certainly not going to play them both in a back three. So, and Harry Maguire, you probably got one last chance to recoup a little bit of money on him. He's still just about young enough to go and get a 2, 3, 4 year contract somewhere like a West Ham who tried to get him before, where he'd be a hero for us. So I don't really see the point in holding on to Maguire. I don't know how long he's got left on his contract.
I'm not sure, but I imagine it's a year or two.
Yeah.
Because I doubt we would have kept him.
You'd get 30 mil, wouldn't you? No.
You get 20 plus, yeah, still.
Maybe with add-ons and things like that nowadays, because he is getting on. He's on big wages as well. He's a good player though, but I just don't think he's a Manchester United player. I do think between now and the end of the season though, it'll be a little bit like McTominay last season. We'll be gearing up to sell him at the end of the season, but because he has maybe a good end to the season because we're playing a back three, people go, no, keep him. But we need to stick to our guns.
Helps you get a good price for him though.
Yeah. I think let him go. Do you agree with that, Booth?
Yeah, no, let him go, 100%.
Lenny Yoro, obviously keep here.
Easy.
You haven't even seen him play.
Easiest one going. He's so highly rated.
I think that right-hand position of the back, like when you look at the back three, you got Lisandro Martinez, who will be the left centre-back, De Ligt, who will probably be the middle one, and Lenny Yoro on the right. I think with his pace and stuff like that.
When's he back?
Excellent. He's back in training. So I think it's weird, like Luke Shaw's back, Lenny Yoro's back. There's a few others that will be available for Amorim's first game.
Ipswich as well, which is a very winnable game.
Ipswich away.
You got to beat them. What's happening?
Tough place to go.
Kieran McKenna's mighty tractors. Lisandro Martinez is a keep.
Yeah. The only concern with him, well, I've got two, I'd say. His injury record isn't good, but also he's a bit rash at times and he just flies in.
I think you're being very nice. I think he's just rubbish, man.
I think for a back three, though, he could be perfect.
He's rubbish.
I don't think he's rubbish at
I think
all.
he'd be really good for
But
back
to win you is he a Premier
I
League
think he
winning
could be
centre
part
back?
of a back.
If you win the Premier League with him, he'd be the worst centre back to win the Premier League since Robert Hoof.
Azpilicueta was a Premier League winner.
Wes Morgan's won it.
Yeah, Wes Morgan's better than him.
No, he's not.
Well, I love Azpi
He
as
is.
much as anyone, but he was obviously a fullback. But he won the Premier League as a centre back and a back three, and I think there's a lot of similarities between him and Martinez. Obviously, different side foot, but I think
I don't even think he's that good on the ball. That's his big thing.
Martinez
He's
on the
good.
ball is fantastic.
Is he?
Bringing the
I've
ball
never
out of
seen
play,
him full.
beating a tackle, passing through the lines. I think that's
all right.
He's excellent. I don't think he's been good this season, granted, but I do think he's a very, very good centre back, and I think he showed his qualities. He came back from injury, played against City, and it was just like he'd never been out in the cup final. I think he's amazing. Johnny Evans, keeping it. Just let him retire at you.
Yeah.
but he's got. Surely that's the end of this season. No?
Give him the keys to the City.
He's not going to get rid of him in Jan, no. But surely end of the season, he's not going to have another year.
Might be manager soon. At this rate, he ends up on the bench with Ruben Amorim. Amorim gets sacked in 2 years.
I could see him.
Johnny Evans
God.
manager.
I could see him moving into the dugout for sure.
I'll keep him. Give him a new contract as well. Luke Shaw, get rid of him.
I'd keep him.
I'm fucking done with Luke Shaw.
He's fantastic for England in the final.
I'll get rid of him. Get rid of him. I'm sick of him.
What are you gonna get for him, though?
Player. Nothing. Get rid of him. Fantastic player when fit. He's never fit. Decided to go on his jollies with England in the summer. Turned up broken biscuits again. I'm sick and tired of Luke Shaw. Sick and
How long's he
tired.
got
Dutch.
left contract? Because
I don't know.
That's a big bit. If he's got a couple of
end
years
it.
on it, you'll struggle to get rid of him. I think.
I wish you could just I wish you could just rip people's contracts up sometimes, because I'd rip his up.
Well, break
Doing my
contract
head
law.
in. I know I'm going really. I don't like to be this guy, man, but just. And I do have a lot of sympathy for him. When he suffered that injury against PSV Eindhoven, it was a heartbreaker, like horrible, horrible injury to suffer. And I think if he didn't have that injury, I think he'd be by far the best left back in the world. When he plays, he's still one of the best left backs about. But bro, you never fit. You decided you've played like 2 games for us in a year. You decided to go away with England. And if it worked out well for you and you come back and you were fit, good. But you didn't. And ultimately, you have to take the responsibility for that. We pay you wages. We pay you big wages as well. I'm sick of it.
He was fantastic for England.
I'm sick of
He
it.
really was.
You can't get away
Hope
from
it was
the
worth
injury
it.
record. You can't ignore it. He's not played enough games, but
It's sad. It is sad.
there is a logic to
Great
if
footballer.
he was to come good, which I don't think he will, but if he was, because he's played left centre back as well. He's played centre back in a back 4 before.
He'd be amazing.
Yeah, so the system would be great.
He'd
for
be
him,
the
but,
perfect left wing back.
Is
But
it ever going to happen?
It's like
It's a bit like Reece James as well, isn't it?
eventually you stop
Yeah.
believing in Santa Claus.
Yeah. What about your other left back who I've never actually seen anywhere?
Mate, Is
Missing person.
somehow he's been in training for a month, but he's still never closer to being in the team.
Very
Again, it's sad.
skiving.
Injury, I feel sorry for players with injuries, and that's why I feel harsh going in on Luke Shaw. But you made that decision to go away in the summer, and
So you'd sell
backfired.
Shaw. You'd sell Malacia.
Someone's got to come in. I mean,
you need left
Keep it.
back.
that left wing back spot though. Let's talk about it maybe being Garnacho, it being a more
Anthony.
attacking wing back there. So I do think Malacia is very, very associated with the Ten Hag transfer policy, though, isn't it? It's like it's an easy because you want to bring your own players in, so it's an easy one to sort of go, look, he's not my guy, move him on. But when he did play, let's start.
It was
quite
good
wasn't he?
competition for Luke Shaw. He
Yeah.
kept him on his toes as well,
For one
which
game.
unfortunately Luke Shaw needs.
The one he might want to get in is that Ignacio from Sporting, who's the left side centre
I
back.
like the young man at Bournemouth as well.
Oh yeah, the Hungarian guy.
He got 2 assists against City. He was outrageous, mate.
Really good.
He was
we linked with him
outrageous.
last summer, but it was like, is it too early?
Mate,
Kirkes,
he's
isn't
so
it?
good.
Kirkes, that's him. That's it.
Kirkes, yeah, he's unbelievable.
Moving on to midfielders, Casemiro. I do think his form's been good this season, but
The goal against Leicester was great, wasn't it? Retirement community.
yeah, it is. It's probably like if we're looking to move on with this. Whilst I think Casemiro could have a very good season this season, eventually you're going to be looking to move him on. So
Well, I think this centre mid
Terrible.
area is where you've got to do the most movement. To be honest, I think
Yeah.
there's quite a few here. Like
Look at this.
Casemiro,
Fuck
I
me.
think Ericsson.
What a bland midfield. You got Ericsson, Maino's great. Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes.
Mason Mount
paper,
is a big
it's
decision
not
to
actually
be
that
made.
bad on paper.
Well, yeah.
It's not a top 4 midfield.
But you remember, you got to pick 2, not 3.
It's not as good as Chelsea's or Spurs or
Remember, you
Arsenal
got to
or
pick
Villa.
2, not
It's
three.
worse than Villa's.
It's going to be Kobe and Nagata, isn't it? Surely.
Lads, I know I've just said this all about Luke Shaw, but I'm still at the early stages of Mason Mount. This formation and system could really suit him, you know. I got Charles fan laughing at me.
Because is Bruno going to play as one of these middle 2? Is he going to play as one of the attacking players? That's the big
You'll play as a 3 when
I
they
think
one
he'll
of the
be
3.
part of the front 3.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then I think
Mason
you're going to
Mount.
need
It's going to be
players there.
Ugarte and Kobe, Casemiro and Kobe, Casemiro and Ugarte, Mount and whoever. It's
You're
going to
going to
be
let
like
Mount
that.
go.
You're gonna
You're going to
need
have to let Mount
numbers.
go. I'm telling you as a mate. It's not a Man United City rivalry thing. You're going to have to let Mason Mount go.
It depends
It's
what you
over.
Get from him. It depends what you can get paid a lot of money for him.
It's over.
So Casemiro, what we're saying?
I think it's just too old now. Like he's still got performances there. I think he'll play the rest of the season, but then let him go to Saudi.
I think he'll have a good end to the season, then let him go. Mamouth Ugarte,
keep.
Yeah, keep.
Christian Eriksen.
Same as Casemiro.
Retirement.
You know what I think a lot when I see Christian Eriksen do stuff? He must look around football stadiums sometimes and think, I died once. Like, how am I here?
What, when he came to Man United?
Like he plays for he plays for one of the biggest clubs in the world, like the biggest club he's ever played for. Correct. And like he must pinch himself sometimes and think,
Play for Inter
I
Milan.
was legitly dead. And here I am.
Yeah, and now
Still needs to go.
Dreams.
Still needs to go.
Yeah, he needs to go. He needs to go.
Kobe Maino, of course. Keep.
Mason Mount,
You have to
keep.
let that one go. I'm telling you as a mate. There's no rival. I couldn't care less. Mason Mount is a flop. Flop.
I think it's because he doesn't play enough. It's hard to say that.
When he's played, he's been shit.
But you know the simple fact we paid 60 million for him when we could have got him for free like a year later.
If you get an offer of half of that, you have to take it. I think. If you get 30 or more,
You wouldn't get 6 mil for him now. 6 mil, let alone 60.
If he stay again, it's a big old if. If he stay fit between now and the end of the season, though, I think by May we're looking at it and going, "Ooh, maybe they've got, I think it's just a case of him staying fit because I think he can offer something to the team. I do. But here we go. Mason Mount keep, Bruno keep is what I say.
Yeah, you've got to keep Bruno. You've got to get back to his best, obviously.
Have to keep someone.
See,
He ain't got an 11.
Bruno's amazing, man. I
mate.
genuinely think like Bruno is fucking amazing. And sometimes he has games where we go, people go, Bruno was crap today. And then you watch the game back and you think, he made that chance. He made that chance. He made that chance. And sometimes he gets frustrated with himself and with the team and with his situation and it boils over. And I hate that. But without that, you lose the player that he is.
Doesn't he? He misses sitter against Chelsea.
But mate, people, for the last 18 months, people have said Cole Palmer's one of the best players in the world because of his goals and assists. Bruno Fernandes has been doing it for 3-4 years. No player's created more chances than him, and I'm including Kevin De Bruyne in that. And I think most
per 90, or is that because he plays every game? That's the big.
I think it's just numbers.
But he's nowhere near the level, right?
And
You're not saying he's nowhere near De Bruyne's level.
He's one of those players in the bracket below Kevin De Bruyne, yeah. Like he's right up there. He's one of the best players in the world.
He's never had a
position,
season.
bro.
He's never ever had a season like Cole Palmer did last season, ever in his life.
Yes, he has.
He hasn't.
Yes, he has.
He's never dominated the league like he has.
He's had a number
Never
of them.
scored 4
Since
goals
he
in a
came to
game.
Manchester United, he's been getting loads of goals, loads of assists. And for you to say that is
Sorry,
very
man.
short.
I think when he first came in,
a very short memory.
he had a real
He's never had a Palmer season. He's had more seasons.
He's had about 3 of them.
He's never as
has.
good. Never as good.
He has.
Maybe close, but never as
He's gone and
good.
scored 4 goals a couple of times. It's a bit crazy and it's pretty unique. But I think that Bruno hasn't lived up to the first few seasons for a while. I think he came in and he was really good. I know he had ups and downs. I don't think he's quite maintained that level recently. But I think he's better than he is right now, for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I think Ruben might help do that. So you've got to keep him.
You have to keep him, of course, but I'm
One of
just
our
saying
best players.
it's a different level.
This will be fun. Forward, starting with Anthony, get rid.
Yeah, he's got to go in. He's got to get. Newcastle
Send the
apparently
bugger
room
back.
for him in the summer. Like, just take whatever they
please.
offer. Just take it.
If they come and take him,
Take less.
offer,
Honestly, take 10.
I'll build a statue of.
Because he's probably on big money. Get that money out. I'll never forget.
man.
You can never forget. The reason I've always been Ten Hag out, I've always thought he's a bit uninspiring personally. I know he had some stuff to deal with in his tenure, but the fact that he chose to spend double on Anthony from what he could have got Kudus for half, he'd managed them both before, and he made the decision to go with Anthony is unforgivable.
And then he chose to play him, which is mental. Amad Diallo keep for me. Although
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's up in the air with him because he's not really had much opportunity at Man United. If
needs
this
to get
manager
given it.
doesn't give him the opportunities, then he will leave. I think he'll have a great.
He looks a
career.
little
Could he
bit
be
too
Could he go
small.
in the wing back slot? I don't know if he's got the defensive.
I don't think he's got the
Okay.
physicality like he was just talking about.
Very
his stature.
small
I don't
guy.
think he's got that. And also, he's a footballer.
Yeah.
You know how Garnacho's a very direct winger who's going to burn. Amad Diallo likes to get on the ball, bring it back, pass around and keep possession. So I think he's very different.
Garnacho is probably the biggest keep, surely. Him and Kobe Mainoo. He's the future of your club.
Garnacho keep as well. Rashford keep.
Rashford, well, I'm a bit frustrated. He just turned 27, isn't he, Rashford, right? So he should be in his sort of prime
27?
now. He just seems to be constantly on, off, like season by season. And it wouldn't surprise me if Amorim comes in and finds a way to make him electric again. Can he sustain it? For me, if he can't sustain Rashford-type form at his best for the next couple seasons in a row, if an offer comes in for him, and I'm talking like 60 mil plus, has to be.
From who?
If an offer comes in for him, like PSG...
Who bid 60?
Well, I'm just saying, if it
Rashford's
comes in, you
a good
take
player.
it. You do have to take it. I know he's homegrown and that helps with the squad situation, but yeah, he frustrates me how he's allowed to sort of just perennially get away with being off the ball.
gets away with
I'm going to defend. I defend him a lot, but I'm going to defend him here this season. I genuinely think, in terms of his attacking fullbacks and going after them and his skillful moves and all those kind of things, he's had that this season, and he's been linking up play and bringing his teammates in. I think one of the things that haven't helped him this season has been Manchester United's tactics. He used to be the guy that we would be creating the opportunities for in that left forward position, and now he's almost became the guy that drops deep to create those opportunities for the overlapping fullback, and that's why you see Delors running through on goal, and you think that should be Rashford, or you see someone else and you think Garnacho go through and it should be Rashford. It's because he's being used to utilise and play those into positions. I think this season he's shown signs of getting back to his old self, and I look forward to seeing him hopefully in between that 18-yard box, getting in front of goal, because that's where he needs to be.
How many goals does he need to get this season to keep him in the summer? for you. He's got to be in double figures.
I'll keep him in this. Mate,
Even if he doesn't get double
Keep him
figures.
regardless.
He
Ben.
doesn't get double figures.
They keep him regardless.
Well, because they love him and he's one of their own.
I think so. Yeah.
he's also a very people rave over like Rafael Leao and stuff. People that don't ever fucking do stuff. Marcus Rashford's class, man. He just needs to find himself again, and the manager hopefully will do that. Rasmus Højlund, I think keep.
Yeah, you got to give him a go. It all links to whether he goes and gets Gyökeres or however you say it, the big man.
I want to steer clear of signing anyone that plays for Sporting. Just as a rule. Just like as a rule.
I know what you mean.
let's
Portuguese
not do
league's
that.
hard.
He did sign
hard to get that right.
That worked out.
No, all of our signings, bar Marcus Rowe, have been very good from Sporting. I just think, let's not go back to the manager's old club.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
The other day, I did a review after the Chelsea game, and I was very harsh on two players. Manuel Ugarte and Joshua Zirkzee. I don't know what he's good at. And I feel sorry. I hate to say that because he's a young lad who's just come in, new league and all that kind of stuff. And I hope he turns it around. And there are moments where he drops into midfield and he'll have a touch and he'll like flick it through someone's legs and find a pass and you fucking hell,
yeah.
like Zlatan
Yeah.
there.
The goal against Fulham was nice.
And then he gets in front of goal sometimes and he just loses his legs, slows down, lets defenders catch him up, doesn't find his pass, and you think, what the hell is going? Like, what the hell?
I've never seen someone so slow in Premier League football in my life. He's the slowest striker in the history of Premier League football. He's slower than Chris Uwalumo, for real. He's so... Dave Kitson's quicker than him. Honestly, he's the slowest guy.
He's
he was
built
clear
like
on
an
through when
American
against Chelsea.
football player as
He was clear through. And he had zero... On FIFA, you know this, Spence. He had zero pace on FIFA. Seriously. He has a bronze card level pace. I've never seen anything like it. It's embarrassing. Only Man United could spend 110 million on Xerxes and Højlund as their strike partnership. Oh, Lord.
He's... I don't know what's going on with Joshua.
I think he's not got the full... He's very good at certain things, and there's other things
Is he?
quite poor
He's
at.
one of them, like...
Yeah.
He's one
Very
of those,
good.
Yeah, not elite.
I'm not saying he's as good as him, but he's one of those Firmino strikers where he's not going to get you goals, but he might get others goals. But if he's not doing that, he's not doing
Built
much.
like
I
a
don't think he's in the Firmino conversation. I think he's
Built, no, I mean...
he's like a Premier League striker, but not a United.
He utilises other players rather than him being the guy to get all the goals, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a strain. I'm not too sure what's going on there.